Here we go. Ready for some cooking? Tomorrow's project is smoking this ribeye roast, making some prime rib. So I'm prepping it tonight, and I pulled this out on, it may have even been Sunday. I can't even remember, and it is still not completely thawed. I mean, almost. It's just weird how it's taken forever. So anyway, I'm hoping it's thawed by tomorrow. Let's see, I'm just seeing if it needs to be trimmed at all. Maybe a little bit. There's just a little bit of loose stuff on there. Maybe I'll get that off. My trusty deboning, defatting knife. No. Yeah, this is kind of like kind of a tough kind of a fat. Do you need to get closer to see me? Nah. My hands are all dirty. I don't feel like touching the camera now. So we're gonna tomorrow, I don't have to get up super early. I think it's probably gonna take low and slow. I don't know. I can't remember. Last time I did this, 5-6 hours maybe at the most. So I don't have to get up super early, but I'll I'm gonna monitor the internal temperature, so that's really all that counts. And last time I did this, it was on a Weber with the Weber smoker with the coals and the wood chunks. This time it's on the Traeger, which is the wood pellets, and it's a lot more consistent. The heat is a lot more consistent on a Traeger. Well, I'll flip this around this way a little bit. I like the fat on the end. Let me just trim this loose edge. I'm gonna try to preserve the fat though, because I like it. That's one of my favorite parts of prime rib, is the big fat chunks. After they get soft. I mean, that's some nice fat there. I think that's good. It was just that one flap that was kind of weird on there. I love my new knives, by the way. They're super sharp. And there's also, God, there's still ice chunks. It's a bummer this thing is taking so long to thaw. But it looks pretty good. It's gonna be pretty good once it's cooked. It's a nice shape. This side looks nice. That side's still got some ice crystals on it. But we are going to salt it, and then we're going to stick it in the fridge and let it sit on this tray out in the open in the fridge overnight. And then that way the salt will kind of, whatever it does, it seals in the moisture really. And I think what I'm gonna do is, instead of just salt, we're gonna use the old, the Redmond Real Salt organic garlic pepper. That again, it's a nice basic salt, pepper, garlic, and onion kind of a mix, but it's got the good old Redmond salt in there. Let me see, I'll go this way. And we don't want to like kill it with a crust, but we'll put a little bit on there. Like that. Here. I can bring it down closer now since I've already explained pretty much everything. I learned this trick from watching those Aaron Franklin videos. He puts the holes at the top when he's shaking because the salt is heavier. That way you get more of the pepper and the spices coming out along with the salt. Because if you turn it around the other way, it's mostly the salt will come out, and then it'll get too overshadowing. Okay, there's the front and the back. Now I gotta get the sides and the top. If it weren't so heavy, I could just use one hand, but yeah, that worked. Just go this way. Got my paper towel. Yeah, so we're gonna try the old reverse sear, my favorite method for cooking any kind of meat on a smoker or grill. I do that with steaks, with brisket. That way, there we go, that's done. I'm not sure which side I'm gonna put up tomorrow. Let's leave the meat side up tonight. So we cook it low and slow. So somewhere 225 to 250, somewhere in that range, until the internal temperature hits 124-ish, maybe 125, mid 120s. Today I did that steak and it got up to 128. It peaked at 128 and it was still perfect. So somewhere in the 20s, you know, mid to high 20s, 220s, 120s, sorry. You would think it's early in the morning, it's late at night. Anyway, yes, and then I'll take it off, I'll let it rest, say half hour, and I'll crank the grill up to 500 once it gets to temperature. We'll put the grate right down on the heat, we'll throw that thing in there, and we'll sear it till it gets brown and crusty. You'll see. So, I will see you tomorrow morning. Okay. So this morning we're going to throw the prime rib roast on the smoker. It's not that early. I don't know why. Every time I have these smoker projects, I always have a rough night's sleep, so I'm a little discombobulated. But I was going to show you real quick. So it's been in there all night. I'm going to pull it out and let it rest for a little bit, and then we're going to, while I get the smoker going, and then I'll throw it on. So I'll see you downstairs. Okay, we're down here at the new Traeger. Well, it's Traeger Ironwood 885. So I have the meat here. Sorry, the camera angle doesn't hit everything. So I'm gonna put the meat probes in. I've got my my meter, which I will pull out and stick this on the Traeger. Okay, we're gonna place it fat side up. So let me turn it over to start with. So I put this probe in the right spot. I know you can't see, you can hear it, but you can't see what I'm doing. So I'm just sticking the probe in up to that line. Trying to find the best. Oh, wow, that won't go in. There it goes. There we go. So we got that one in the back. We have the Traeger probe that's on the wire. We're gonna put that in the side so we can get two different readings. So the other thing is my little water dish. We always want that. So we're gonna stick that in the corner. Put the meat on. Here we go. So I put it a little further from, I didn't put it right directly over the meat, over the heat. Oh, and the probe has to go in. All right. So we'll let that go until the temperature gets up to where we want it, which is around 124, 125. Then we pull it, rest it while this thing cranks back up to 500. We drop the grate down right over the heat, and then we'll sear the outside till it's nice and crispy. Okay, my meter just informed me that it's up to temperature, so I'm gonna pull it off, and I'm gonna wrap it in foil. Actually, I gotta get the foil out first. And this is just to let it rest while I turn up the smoker to 500. There it is. Can you see it? These things come in handy. All right, now I'm gonna close that. I'm gonna crank it. All right, you didn't see me, but I was over there cranking it. Okay, take these things off. You know, I got all these little bugs crawling around here. Maybe this table wasn't such a great idea. You know what else I'm gonna do? I'm gonna squirt it with some apple cider vinegar. Just treat this like a brisket. Even though we're gonna try to, maybe I shouldn't do that, huh? If I'm planning on searing it, but that'll keep the juices in for now. It's only to rest it. All right. So, we got the thing wrapped, resting. This thing is going up. Slowly. It's like a 260 right now. So, we'll continue this when that thing hits temperature. Okay, the grill has hit 500. So, we will unwrap this thing. I should have pulled this out before I cranked the grill. I burnt my drippings. I pulled the water thing out because I'm searing this. I don't know if I should have water. Ooh, it looks good. All right, so we're gonna throw it back on. Maybe 5 minutes aside or so. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. This thing cranks up pretty nicely. It works good on a steak when you're grilling, so it should work good on this thing. Here we go. We got some good drippings in the foil, which we will use when we pull it back out. I don't have the wire probe in anymore. I've just got the meter. Oh, I have this thing. Did I show you that? It's a little instant thermometer stick. Hey, it's 91 degrees. All right, I'm gonna check this. See, that says 109. That doesn't sound right to me. Because the meter is telling me it's 128. Here, let's get a different reading. 115. Well, I guess we don't have to worry about overcooking it. Just keep it in there a couple more minutes. About 5 minutes on each side. All right, I had to pull that thing off in a hurry. Flames are shooting out. Yeah, I don't know what you do about that. I guess the grease was catching on fire. It looks good though. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put it in this pan and then just cover it with the foil. Even though this pan has some burnt stuff, it's okay. Try to get this juice on there too. Find a good spot to pour it. There we go. Right. I'm gonna check this thing again. It still says 110. Well, you know, I can always throw it in a skillet and sear it a little bit more before I eat it. Okay, I'm gonna try to wrap this thing without making a mess. I should do that with these because that's hot. Alrighty then, we will take this up. Let's hope it worked. Back up in the kitchen. So I got my meat right here. It's still wrapped up. And I'm making a different side today instead of the usual bacon and eggs like I always do. Beef liverwurst, and I'm gonna cook the eggs on top of that for some added vitamins and minerals. So we got the little pan heating up. And I got a new cutting board. A large plastic one. I still like the wooden, but it's easier to clean up. So let that heat up for a second, and then I'm gonna drop the eggs in there. I guess I can uncover this while I'm waiting. It got up to 132, I think, total, the peak of the temperature, which is good. Spatula. I got my eggs. These are chicken eggs from the same place I get the duck eggs. So I'm eating 2 of them since they're chicken. Half the nutrition as a duck egg. Just gonna drop these in the middle. And there we go. Oh, and another thing I'm doing different today, I'm cooking in beef tallow instead of bacon grease. Maybe it doesn't quite get as hot. It slowed down substantially since I dumped those eggs in there. We will be okay. That'll give us time to get the meat out. I guess those eggs were cold. All right, so now I am going to put this meat over on that thing, and then I'll bring the camera down. But I gotta get this out of the way before I can do that. These handy dandy gloves. These things come in handy. Oh, there we go. We're gonna save this juice because we can maybe make some juice to pour over it. Pull this. Let's go this way so you can see the edge. Got my new knife, new slicer. It's the first time I've cut meat. Does that look perfect or what? Oh, I might just eat that end right there. That is perfect. See, now when I go to slice other chunks off of this, I can actually re-grill the outside and still retain that medium rare on the inside without having to worry about it. All right, let's get a plate. I gotta get a big plate, sorry. Oops, for all you blue plate fans. I need a fork. We're gonna go with this. Look at that. Ooh. I got the best of both worlds on this piece. Man, that is humongous. Look at the thickness on that. All right, let's put the eggs on. So I'm just gonna dump them on. See if I can slide those under there just slightly. There we go. That's good. I'm gonna do a little paprika for color. I'm just a fan of that little paprika color. Here we go. We have prime rib, eggs, and beef liverwurst. Maybe an odd combination, but still looks good to me. God, I don't even know what angle to show you. I guess I don't need to show you the whole thing. I'll just show you the meat. That's the most important. Because that is the prime rib. Voila! There you go. Here we are. I washed my hair between this morning and when this was done. I'll slice a little bit here in the middle. You can see a little bit of the smoke ring on there. Actually, you can see it better on the other side. Let me see if I can get that on there. I hate that little end piece. It was a little tough. Not tough. Chewy. Pretty good. I'll try this chunk. Well, that's the end piece. The jury is still out. Man, I don't know. It's not as juicy like that ribeye I had yesterday was. Man, that thing's melted in your mouth. I'm going to try another end up here. Man, that looks good though. Cut that in half. I don't want to be sitting here chomping while you're watching. Yeah, obviously, that little end piece is always the most tender. Pretty good. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and then hit the subscribe button down in the corner, and I will see you on the next one. And until then, delicious.